Hi, and welcome to the Anime Dumpster Dive podcast, where we go in-depth on an anime deemed bad by the anime-watching community. Have we earned the right to answer? Let's dive on into it. I'm your host and otaku who is new to Quiz Bowl, Jake H. As always, I'm joined by my co-host and Quiz Bowl president, DJ.
Hello!
And my other co-host and nerdy kid with glasses, Anthony.
Son of a bitch, that's so broad.
That was just your description.
Yeah. Yeah, Anthony, breeding for nerdy kid with glasses.
You gotta push him up with two fingers.
So the anime... Go ahead.
I was going to say, depending on who you're talking about, he's always doing it. Like, I don't think he's in a frame where he's not doing it.
No, that was the president. The president's always doing it. Yeah, I'm talking about you're the main character.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm the main character.
Yoshiyama.
Oh, sweet.
So the anime that we're talking about today is Fastest Finger First, or Nanamaru-san Batsu, if you're a weeb. And it's an anime that I had previously watched on the Nerdblaze's Anime Ricochet podcast, because it's a sports anime, kinda. I had a lot of fun watching it when I watched it with them, and I noticed after I watched it with them that it held a 6.74 rating on my anime list. So I was like, was it maybe was I blinded by it, or am I seeing it through rose-colored glasses because I was watching it with somebody and I just really enjoyed it? So I figured I'd revisit it with you guys on our podcast to see if it was actually good, or if I'm just crazy.
Or if you're just crazy.
So this anime came out... this anime is based on the manga of the same name, and it came out in the summer of 2017, alongside anime such as Made in Abyss and Kakaguri, which are big names coming out from that.
Yeah, that's tough.
Season. It is made by Studio TMS Entertainment, who brought us such anime as Dr. Stone, Megalobox, and the Fruits Basket remake. Its director is Masaharu Okuwaki. So, just some broad discussion before we go into the spoilers. Did you guys like it?
I did. It was like Jeopardy, but the anime. And if they were...
Like Jeopardy.
Well, come on. They got to big it. They got to ding the dinger.
Back.
They got to click the calculator. They got to slap this.
That's what makes it by Jeopardy. Like Jeopardy.
Yeah, and then they answer questions. All jokes aside, I thought that portions of it were informal. Informational. They provided me with something that, because some little fun facts, and I know that we're super big about the fun facts, especially when the anime gives it to us. So, it was good. I thought the characters were cool, and it was cool.
I thought it was good.
Okay.
They didn't have enough fan service, though.
Yes, I was going to say DJ's a big fan service guy. But
where's my big booby character?
Panther.
Big boobies around.
Panther.
They had some little fan service, but it was very tasteful. Like, you didn't even get to see the panty shot.
Nope.
Not even a censored panty shot. It was just implied.
I wish there was a character that used her giant boobs and sluttiness to distract the otakus and win at Quiz Bowl.
I'm sure that's
a great...
the next arc probably introduced some character like that.
Yeah, she wins every
2.
tournament because of her incredible cleavage.
I was going to ask, since DJ is kind of our resident Jeopardy lover, did you really like the whole Quiz Bowl?
Portrays Quiz Bowl very accurately. That's how it works. Big part of it is buzzing in the moment you know the question. A big part of it is learning question structure. It makes people who go on Jeopardy that used to play Quiz Bowl a lot better players in Jeopardy, because not a lot of Jeopardy players identify question structure as good as someone who played Quiz Bowl. Identifying the hints in the question, because Jeopardy words their questions with a hint in it usually as well. You do get the whole question read every time in Jeopardy. But there's always like a hint that to where maybe if you have no idea on the subject, you could get the question from just the hint, and being able to recognize those hints in every question that has them, some of them don't, but most of them do, is huge for a Jeopardy player. And Quiz Bowl is all about that, identifying the answer before the whole question is read by the hints in the wording and stuff. So It's very accurately represented, I think.
Yep.
And even to the point where they talk about how there's different structures. Like there's the the chick makes her own little tournament structure or whatever. And he goes, yeah, they could be structured very differently, however the creator wants them to be, and that's absolutely true. There's like a general format, but you'll see it, college quiz bowl. It's generally college quiz bowl is bigger. I don't know about in Japan whether it's high school quiz bowl, but here in the States it's usually college quiz bowl, and your quiz bowl community will usually have like their own little format that they like to do, but it can change, depending on where you're at.
Okay. Was there one part that really sticks out for me is finding the determining point in a question? I thought that was really cool. Is to like see where like you can figure out the answer to the question at like before the end of the question even finishes, and that reminds me a lot of this anime that I really love called Chihaya Furu, and they actually kind of reference it in the first episode, I believe, where it talks about like playing the 100 Poets game, where essentially you have to finish off one of the poems. You have to touch a card that finishes off one of the poems. It's a game called Karuta. And if you know the poems better and you can find a determining point, you can touch that. You can go for that card before the other person does. And so that's where I was just like, oh, that's really cool. Because that was when I first watched it, I thought of Chihaya Furu, and then they went and they
bring up that game.
They bring up that game. I was like, that's really cool. Like that's really neat that they went to that length to explain it.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty advanced thing. That was one of the things I thought was kind of unrealistic. All these kids are like savants. I don't think your average Quiz Bowl community is going to be that intense. They're all really fucking good at trivia.
All of them ridiculously good.
I don't think that's...
Well, except for... we'll get into that, I guess.
That's a little unrealistic. But, I mean, it's if they weren't good, it wouldn't be fun.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's why any sports anime is always about, like, this top level of competitive play that doesn't really exist outside of, like, the 1%. And so... Oh, yeah, like you said, or else it wouldn't be interesting.
Yeah, you're treading on very... It takes a really delicate balance of sports anime, and I think they nailed it. Mm-hmm. Maybe not nailed it, but did it much, much better than a lot of other ones that I've seen. Yeah. So, yeah, I like it when they give you enough of the characters to where you are rooting for them, but not too much to where the sport has to kind of take a sideline. Mm-hmm. I watched the swim anime on Nerd Blaze. I don't remember what it was called, but that one kind of the sport definitely takes a sideline on that one. It's also not really a swimming anime. No. Not Free, the other one. I forget what it was. But I think Free is that way as well, where they don't do much swimming, right? They're in a swim club, but it's mostly about guys who also happen to be in a swim club rather than a swimming anime. This one definitely does a good job of really opening up the world of Quiz Bowl. At least to these kids, how it pertains to these kids. I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but very nails that balance, I think.
Yeah.
So this question's for Anthony, because I already know DJ tries to do trivia nights as much as he can. Mm-hmm. After watching this, once quarantine's over, would you be more up to go to trivia nights? Like, do you think that this is kind of like made those more exciting to you, or do you still feel like it was good anime, but I don't want to do that in real life?
Well, personally, I always feel like I do okay at trivia. I'm not great at trivia. I wouldn't necessarily put myself in the same camp as DJ as far as like being a fan of trivia, but I'd say I'm a little more open to go to trivia now. It's definitely piqued my interest. I don't know a lot of things, but sure, why not? Let's go. Make sure it's baseball.
Sports is my weekness, man.
Well, I mean,
people who are good at sports on my team.
You have a good mix, like our main trio, which isn't really a main trio because Inoue Daisuke, the otaku guy, appears like fifth in the opening. It's like the rival's the third, and he's barely in the show. character-wise, I personally really like it when you enter a sports anime with a character who has who has no experience in the sport, and so you kind of like learn alongside that character. So I thought they did a good job because they made. Hold on, I have to look at his name again. They made Koshiyama more relatable, like because you're like, oh, okay, I'm learning this along with him, but he's not like an idiot because he does have this knowledge, and he has a very specific set of knowledge for a reason. Like he's good at classical, like novels and stuff, and so I thought that was cool because it didn't make him like they could have easily have done what they did with Inoue and made him like a nerdy otaku, so he only knows nerdy stuff. Because it's an anime, you're probably going to hit that audience more.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good job to make him more knowledgeable of the classical stuff.
Yeah, like you said, relatable as well. You know,
you need
I'm
that
sure
in a sports anime for sure. At least the main character helps a lot. There has to be some way to explain what's happening. And thinking of a clever way to do that, or a very good way is just having the character be new to the sport. I feel like if you don't, sometimes you end up beating your audience over the head with what's going on in the sport instead of letting them kind of dive into it.
So I feel like we've pretty much talked all that we can about this anime without going into spoilers. So we're going to go into spoiler territory now. I'll go ahead and put the time where the spoilers end in the description, and you can skip to there if you'd like. So we're going to spoilers now. I will say this, and I did not realize this the first time watching through it, but Mercuria, the rival character, might be one of the best rivals like in anime to me.
He's a good rival.
He is a very good rival.
I think he's I think he's like so good because a lot of the times a rival character is kind of just also trying to get strong at the same time, which I mean like he is. But what he's also doing is making it a rivalry, which I thought was really like neat. Is that like he knows Koshiyama can be good, so he's like, okay, that's it. You're like you and me, we're rivals, and you're going to be good too. And it's not just trying to be better than him because he already is. Right. And I thought it was really cool. I really liked him.
It's a good rivalry. That's rare.
100%.
That's rare.
I agree with that. I also like his approach to certain styles of answering the questions. I think that's shown a little bit later, more so into the season, more so like towards the end, like where they're in the final tournament and shoot, his name just skipped out of my head. Anyways, he goes to answer a question, and you get the thought process of how each of the contestants came to that particular point, and just his style of how he answered some of the questions and things like that. That was really interesting as well. Just to kind of build on the character and the rivalry that is, definitely there.
They think differently.
Revenge. Yeah, they did.
And in the end, he was like, "I didn't know that."
Yeah,
like I knew the answer to that question, but I didn't
it was
know
a very
that
humble
other thing you knew.
Yeah.
That's true. He recognizes that he can learn, he can grow.
Yeah.
Reminded me, it gives you a lot of characters to root for, which is pretty cool. From various teams, not just your main squad. Reminded me hugely of Glee.
Weird.
Why do all these schools have Quiz Bowl teams? Why do all these schools have Glee clubs? Same shit, right?
Yeah.
They're all really good, too. Interesting. Where's the trash Glee club, right? But, like in Glee, it's not Westerberg, but it starts with the W. Is supposed to be like the bad Glee club at the beginning, and they're phenomenal. You're like, this is not believable. This is kind of breaking the realism for me. Same with them. They're like Buzo's like the shitty guys, and they're like all still high tier trivia players. I'm like, this doesn't seem. This is you're the worst that they've got. Okay. What is?
Is it Westbrook?
No.
Anyway.
I know we in Heathers we used the cheer uniforms. I know it starts with a W. McKinley? Something. William McKinley.
William McKinley. That's
because it was something. Yeah, something like something like that.
Hold on. Yeah, so yeah, that's true. Like that they are the worst, but I think they're the worst because they're new. It's like the first year that they have a Quiz Bowl team, and so
That is true.
that's why.
Right.
Like no,
Why
that's why
would
they're
your
like, oh,
first
that's
year-
why they're good.
Nobody's first year
Right.
as Quiz Bowl team has ever been that stacked.
Yeah. Well, they were all first year high
Except for
schoolers as well,
Yeah,
except for the president, right?
Yeah, Sasajima, and like it's cool with him because at first I thought he was just going to be some weird guy who's obsessed with Quiz Bowl, but it turns
Right.
out he is like this Quiz Bowl savant. Like you
Went
said,
to the other school, and they didn't have a team, so he started his own.
yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Right. Right.
And then he wins like that was another thing that I was really surprised is that he wins the tournament.
It's probably the only beat that I did not like. I
Really?
did not like that part. Yeah, I thought that I mean, I kind of figured that that's how they were going to do it going into it, just because you're sitting here at pretty much like the midpoint of episode 11, and you're like, wow, they're just now getting to this point.
Yeah.
What the fuck is episode 12 going to be?
I thought that that's what was going to happen. I thought it was going to end with the rivalry, and
Yeah.
then the final round wasn't going to matter, and that's what happened. I thought that that's what was going to happen, and I was okay with it. I feel like giving it to the other school would be so tropey, you know? I liked that it was atypical and that he's really good, so he won. Like, the other school, it has to catch him. Like, the other school they're so worried about competing against is the underdog in this situation. I think, yeah.
Okay.
I liked it. Lots of characters to root for, too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's again, I comparing it to Chihaya Faru, where Chihaya Faru doesn't really have an antagonist, but you have like people you root for, and then you have people you root for more. And so that's what I thought this anime was doing, all the way up until Akira was introduced. And so that, like, in that first tournament, you're like, you kind of start to like Mercuria, you kind of start to like the other players in it, and you're like, okay, I like this. And it then just becomes who are you rooting for more, which like you hope you root for the main characters, but sometimes you root for other people. And then Akira gets introduced, and then there's this antagonist. And I don't know how I feel about that. I didn't like it the first time, and I don't think it
Yeah,
would
me either.
Yeah.
Nope.
Is it a girl or a boy?
It's a boy who cross-dresses.
He was dressed as a girl the first time they met him, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was a girl that cross-dresses and was dressed like a girl the first time they met her. But then they kept calling him him.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's when they first meet him, he's cross-dressed.
He's dressed as a girl.
Yes. And so that...
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was fine.
You thought he was
I
fine?
liked him as an antagonist. Yeah, he's clever. And he brings a new element to it, a clever element. Like, he brings his own thing to the table in Quiz Bowl. And then I think a very satisfying ending as well.
Yeah.
Where maybe he'll join, the ranks of the Quiz Bowlians. And he'll still be bringing his little trickery spin to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Very
He talks
open
about-
for future seasons.
Well, he talks about that, like how much he likes to bend the rules, essentially. It's like what his whole little mini monologue is. To that point, I think that it did bring a really interesting element, but a necessary antagonist. I felt like that we got as much contention that we needed from the rivalry, in my honest opinion. But it's a show about answering questions.
Nah, he's
You know,
too
so-
he's too nice of a rival to be like the contentious other. I think. I feel like they needed someone to for you not to like, and the other guy fills that void. But the other guy also likable at the end. You see a little bit what's going on in his head, and you're like, okay, I feel you. And when he cheats, he bows himself out too.
Yeah.
That I really did like, is that
Yeah.
like, he leaves because he's like, oh, well, I cheated. Like, not because I'm throwing a tantrum, it's because I cheated.
Right.
And he's like, but I cheated though.
It was pretty easy, right?
Sneaky. I'm pretty sneaky. You see that?
There's this trope in anime, and it comes up so much that, like, I assume it has to be a huge part of Japanese culture, where it just seems like girls, like teenage girls, ship like real people.
I thought you were going to talk about this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget what the word. There's like a specific word for that, right? Like, shoot, I'll think of it.
Okay.
They were funny.
Yeah, I thought
they
it
were
was funny. I thought they because it didn't like heavy hand it to you. It was just little bits and pieces, and they came out of nowhere, or they came after scenes where you went, "Oh, if I was watching a different show, this scene would have played out differently." And then the girls like acknowledge it, like when he does the wall slam, and you're like, "Oh."
Then they walked away together. They just slammed the wall. Now they're walking away together. One thing the show was missing was like an animal mascot.
Oh.
I would like it.
Hot take. First hot take of the night.
Yeah. I remember. I don't know why I remember this, but there was this in the swim anime we watched. There's like this little seal, and there was this one like off scene where the guy was like, "Have you met Bradley the seal? He's so cute." And then for the rest of the anime, every once in a while, it would just cut away to Bradley the seal and what he was up to, and he was so adorable. And as I was watching this, I was like, "Man, this is really missing like." Some type of animal cutaway. Just to get away from all this Quiz Bowl stuff, we could just cut to like what a turtle's up to or something like that.
I think a good Quiz Bowl pet is like a parakeet.
Yeah, like they have a class turtle. And he gets out one day and he has his own little adventure.
You would hate that episode. You would hate.
Yeah, you absolutely would hate that episode.
This anime shit the bed because episode 10 was about the parakeet.
Not if he was adorable. If he was adorable and charming, then I would love it.
Like that's so
if he was
unnecessary.
a boring, realistic gerbil and it was just an episode about him walking around eating little pellets, that would be terrible. But if he was like a little fluffy, little charming little guy with a personality, that'd be great. Like that dog episode, I was fine with the dog episode.
I'm over like anime pets after Bloody Wars. Like when I see one, I'm just like, is that pet sentient for an episode and then won't be anymore? I don't know.
It wasn't Bloody Wars. It was the one with the mouth guards.
Oh yeah,
that was
dog. Yeah, it wasn't. I can't remember what that anime was.
I can't remember
seen
what
so
it was
many bad animes. They do mix together a little bit.
Yeah, they do.
I don't remember what the one with the mouth guards was called.
Yeah,
but they had mouth guards and one of them was a dog.
They're trying to eat the fork. God.
He was like, I gotta win this. I liked the dog. He was all right.
Fuck! Now I'm gonna have a conniption. This is gonna keep me up all night. What show was that?
It was mouth guards.
It's a white dog, right? It was a white fluffy dog.
It was a white dog. It was a white Shiba.
If they beat someone else in a game, they got to be their slave.
It was Doriku.
Yep, Doriku.
The Doriku the something game, right?
Doriku the animation, because it's based off like a visual novel.
Mm-hmm.
See, it had an unmemorable name. That's why I call it the mouth guard anime.
And that thing just like... so dumb.
No, I mean, we've been on a roll, Jake. You've been giving us good ones, which is...
Yeah, what the heck?
This anime is supremely...
You kind of like us now? Is that what...
I mean, I figured we're doing it monthly now, if we're lucky. Yeah. And so I figured we'll
the lulls aren't bad.
Yeah.
It's definitely a slow anime. Not a lot happens, but I feel like every episode they do a really good job of the main character gets more and more into the world of, maybe in the beginning, like the first 4, there's little bits of lulls there, here and there. But like every episode he's diving more into this. Like he learns what it is, and then he dips his toe in, and then he does this, and then he does that. There's no episode where it's just like dumb bullshit. Like they use their time very wisely, I think. And then the ending is fucking like 5 episodes of the same tournament. They let you see every step of the way of that tournament, and I think that is a really smart way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than being like, oh, good job, we did it, in like 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Screw that. If they spent 5 episodes on dumb character bullshit, and then 1 episode on that tournament, that would have been meh. Yeah. But they let you really get in there and see the sport and see what was going on with it, and you got to do it that way. Mm-hmm. It was cool. We know him, we know her, like we know a lot of their backstories and what's going on with them. Right. We get a little bit into the president's backstory, man. Like that little bit is enough for me to really root for him. Mm-hmm. Like even that girl, she's like, "You got me in a quiz bowl, and I'm still here." I'm like, "Oh, I like her." It's like one line. You don't need to give me a whole episode about her family. Like, that's... like, some anime would do that to us.
Like, they cut away from the tournament to do, like, a background story. Like
an entire
Right,
episode
yeah.
on that girl and how she grew up on an island or something like that? Exactly.
And then
They
it'll
would
come
do
back
that.
to her answering the one question.
About that island? Yeah.
Yeah.
You can almost write it for him because it's happened so many times. The fucking Snake Brothers, dude?
Oh my god, yeah. And freaking, the Zodiac War, I can't remember.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
Yep. He was there
Judy
for 2
Tenzin.
seconds.
Judy Tenzin.
Junie.
Here's a
Judy Tenzin in the-
2-part episode about these characters who died already.
You're
Yep.
the climax of the action, a
Yeah.
two-part episode
Yeah.
of these characters who have died already. Like, come
God.
on. They gave you enough of what you wanted.
You are
I haven't
giving me
seen a lot
some
of
major,
anime.
major PTSD right now.
I
Not
haven't
for the
seen a lot
good.
of sports anime, but I have seen a lot of situations anime where I'm like, man, I wish they gave us more of that instead of all that bullshit. And they didn't give us all the bullshit. They gave us the sport itself. Yuri on Ice does that really well as well. They don't skip any fucking rounds of that tournament at the end. Like, they let you see every step of the way, which is smart. I think that's the way to do it.
I absolutely agree. I felt like while watching this, you do get to experience every part, like you said, as well as you get to see people like succeed and fail in different ways. Like that guy who, like when he answered all his questions, he was like, "Wait a minute, I should be in the top 10," and the whole reason he wasn't was because he missed a question. So on his like bubble sheet, so he answered everything like off of one.
He skipped one. Yeah.
And
Yep.
so-
He like skipped 4, so then his
Yep.
answer for 5 was on 4, and his answer for 6 was on 5.
Yeah. And so
I,
I thought,
I was like, what does she mean they're one off? And I was thinking about it for a while, and I was like, oh, okay, like his answer for 6 is on 5. Got it.
and so he's like, he's sitting there and he's like, wait a minute, what? And that is something that could totally happen.
Yeah.
Is somebody just
I used to do that
bubbling
on
the wrong
Bubble
thing.
Yep.
Not, I would catch it usually, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I feel like if they didn't do it that way, the way they have so many characters that you're like, ooh, I like him, I'm rooting for that person. And then if they didn't show you every step of that tournament, at the end you'd be like, I wonder how that dude did. I wonder how that girl did. I wonder how that person did. And now you're so dissatisfied. Rather showing the whole thing, you know how all your people did. You know how everyone did. Which is, yeah, that's the way to do it. I'm not like, I wonder how blue shirt guy did. I know how blue shirt guy did, and all of them.
Yeah, he was first one out. First one, second one. He was the second one.
There's a bunch of guys in blue shirts, man.
Oh, I thought you were talking about right there at the finale.
Gorilla Boss? Boss
Gorilla
Gorilla?
Boss, yeah. He's my favorite guy.
Man, Boss Gorilla is really good. Don't call
He
me
literally-
Boss Gorilla.
Don't call me girl. All right, boss. Don't call me boss.
Hey, sorry, Boss Gorilla. You just swing?
I something else I liked is that when someone goes out of their way to take away, like when a strong player went out of their way to take a point away from somebody else, that person was always like kind of like, yeah, I'm a potential threat, bitches. And so it was something I really liked too. Just like I got really into the characters. It was I really liked the sport. I really liked the characters. I really liked when everything was happening. So I'm glad to hear that other people.
I'd be interested is because I knew there was another trivia question coming.
Yeah.
And I knew I like trivia. I was like, throw another one at me, anime. Come on, let me see it. They were hard, dude.
I was going to ask if there was any that you like got right away.
There was a bunch I knew. A bunch I didn't. Like I said, these kids apparently know everything on planet Earth. So, I knew Eclair.
Yeah, I also.
That comes up like 5 times.
Yeah.
I got the Zentai Ryoki. When she's like, "What's this? Absolute territory."
I didn't know that one, but when I saw it, I went, "Oh yeah, that is called that."
So, like,
I
I've heard
know.
Jake
I
say
knew
this.
like some of the history ones, the Napoleon one, some of the literature ones. I don't remember them all.
I got the War and Peace one, except I would have done exactly what that guy did.
Or
And War and I was like, only name one. My bad.
yeah.
So since this is actually one that we all really enjoyed, but it's ranked lower than I believe some of the ones that we've watched, which is weird.
Weird.
Fucking
That is
insanity.
very weird.
More titties, maybe it would be up more.
That's probably... I'm wondering if that's part of the case, is that if maybe it had, like, more edginess or more, like, nudity.
It's very vanilla.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
It's
There's no... Yeah, that's true. You can watch this with your grandmother, this anime.
Yeah.
She'd love it, 'cause she loves Jeopardy, too.
Yeah. There you go.
All people love Jeopardy.
It also...
Oh, people love Jeopardy.
It's also not, like, visually, like, attractive. I mean, it's not bad. It's not handshakers.
Right.
Yeah, but it doesn't got any, like, bells or whistles. Or
Right.
anything.
It's not super flashy. You know, the art style is just normal. You know, it is very slice of life, but it does have that sports anime-esque. It gives you that little bit of excitement. I think it's
guess
pretty
that's
good.
that you can say that. Like if you take Yuri on Ice for example, not only is it fucking amazing story with the sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just this, like that's my favorite part about it is how much they get into the sport. But you've got the edginess with Yuri and Victor, and you've got edginess with the fan service, but it's yaoi fan service, you know. So it's got that really edgy side. Plus, it's visually stunning. So it does not lose those points, you know, whereas this one does.
Mm-hmm.
Not edgy, no fan service, visually pretty bland.
Yeah, like...
It's just as, you know, it doesn't need that, but... And it would be very hard for it to have that.
Yeah.
But I can see how other sports animes can have a similar format where they go really into the sport, but also have that flashiness. Like, I've never seen Haiku, but you could just think of how much more dynamic volleyball is than Quizball.
Yeah.
As far as visuals, right?
Right. I think that if they had included those things, would it have detracted from the overall, you know, point of the anime or the overall theme? No, I don't think so. I think that there could have been other things that could have worked in, you know, to the show, but would it have made it a better show? I don't know.
I think the putting too much flashy visuals would have deterred me.
Yeah, 100%.
This is a fucking trivia contest,
Right.
okay? If they were
Right.
doing like, when they hit the buzzer, it went into like some crazy. Like, they already do a little bit of that.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Like the opening though, if it was like that, like they hit the buzzer and it was like a laser beam, like
Yeah.
I'd have been out immediately.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like this guy's playing trivia, you know, like...
Yeah, but like I said, a little bit or edginess would have been okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think you could have had this same storyline and these same characters and put a little bit of, you know, a little bit of matureness in there, and maybe that would attract people a little bit more.
Uh-huh.
They wouldn't watch it and go, "This anime is for babies."
Right.
Yeah.
It was interesting. It is humorous enough. I'm not saying it's like, you know, the funniest show I've ever watched, but I think it was humorous. You know,
A
Uh-huh.
little bit more comedy, a little bit more fan service. Definitely
Yeah.
a hamster character,
right?
and you might be seeing this anime up there a little bit higher.
For
But
like,
whole point for the hamster.
There's
huh?
no like big tittied waifu for people to like just worship. You
well,
know?
I mean, there's like no waifu in general. I feel like maybe you
Yeah.
can kind of attach to the main girl,
The ear
but,
girl?
Yeah, the ear girl.
Ear girl.
But like, I guess a good example is again, I hate to keep bringing it up, but Chihaya Furu, it has very beautiful imagery to it. So like, there'll be a scene where it's just like the card is being read, and then it's just all black. Like, it just hits a black screen, and then there's the single card that was read, and then like waves will emit from it, and there's a person like touching it, and so you're like, oh, that's a beautiful way to do that. Kind of hard when someone's just answering a question.
Yeah, that
Right.
sounds like a game that can support more imagery. You know,
Right.
this is they're pressing a button.
Yeah, here
They're answering
you're
a trivia
pressing a button.
question.
It's exactly.
They do a good job on the imagery already. I feel like improvements as far as making it more palatable to people. Like, honestly, like as silly as it sounds, like some type of funny animal character And then, of course, fan service is going to bring in people no matter what. So, I mean,
Yeah, comedic relief. I could definitely get behind that. 100%.
if there's like a little cat just getting into mischief all the time, and then meanwhile there was, one girl at their school that was just like ditzy, but she just loves Quiz Bowl, and she's got giant boobs. And then her rival's at the other school, and her rival's like a chick with even bigger boobs that uses her boobs to win at Quiz Bowl.
Yeah.
She uses her like her cleavage to distract all the otakus and beat them at Quiz Bowl. But it turns out like even without it, she's really good, and she learns like that she doesn't need all those tricks to be great. And that's
she comes in a turtleneck looking like Steve Jobs.
One day she comes in a turtleneck and she still wins. Dude, perfect. You got a whole storyline.
DJ wrote that whole character's arc.
There's a whole point on my anime list. But add a gerbil.
They go to different schools. And there's a little cat gerbil, little mischief gerbil, man.
Mischief gerbil.
His name is Freckles.
Okay.
2 points at least on anime list that would get you if you included those things. At least 2 points.
I don't know.
Okay, so we talked about what we liked about it. We talked about like what could improve its My Anime list, because it's not really us trying to improve the anime, just trying to improve its score. How about to wrap this up? How about we do a little quiz bowl of our own here?
Okay.
So wrap this up. We'll do a quiz bowl. Okay.
Okay. So these are just some of the questions that when I was on Anime Ricochet that I did with Kobe and Jeff.
Oh fuck!
And I was on that.
No, this
was. I watched that. I watched
Jeopardy. When he did.
Yeah.
When he did Fastest Finger in the West.
When we did Fastest Finger...
Bad name for the anime, by the way.
Fastest Finger.
Fastest Finger first 3 Fs, that's pretty good.
So
it just keeps making me think of,
Okay, anyway. So, when we did Fastest Finger, Kobe came up with a few questions that were structured in the way that Quiz Bowl questions are structured. And he said they were very easy, and they were, except for the last question. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm just going to read those ones for you guys to buzz in. Just yell buzz.
Okay.
And I'm curious if you guys can use what you learned from Fastest Finger to see if you can get questions before they hit a determining point, or maybe use it to your advantage.
Okay.
Okay, sure. Let's give it a shot.
All right. First question. In Yu-Gi-Oh!, the 3 Egyptian god cards are Obelisk the Tormentor, Slifer the Sky Dragon.
Buzz.
DJ.
Winged Dragon of Ra.
Is the Winged Dragon of Ra.
Nice.
So when we did that, Jeff buzzed at Obelisk the Tormentor and then answered Obelisk the Tormentor.
Oh, no.
You need to hear the 2 to know the third one. And I couldn't, to be fair, I said buzz before I had thought of what the third one was. And I let myself think of it when I had time. Because I knew the Egyptian god card. That could screw you, though, if you buzz in because you know it, but then you have a brain fart.
Uh-huh. Yeah. All right, here's the next one. In Dragon Ball Z, who was the first character to go Super Saiyan 2?
Buzz.
DJ.
On.
Ah.
Now, here's where... This is my one proud moment of doing that trivia with them, was I buzzed in at Super Saiyan.
Oh.
Because...
Why would you be asking?
Why would you be
Any of the other ones, because it's Goku every time.
Exactly. Super Saiyan 1, Goku. Super Saiyan 3, Goku. Super Saiyan 2, Gohan.
It's the only one that's different. See, that's a... What's his name? That's a rival level Buzz.
Yeah.
First, as soon as they say Super, you go, boom, Buzz. It's got to be Gohan, because every other one is Goku.
Yeah, exactly. It's the.
I think it's literally every other Super Saiyan is Goku.
Yeah, because even 4, it's Goku.
4, Blue, yeah,
yep.
All of
them. All right, so the next one. In Naruto, the 3 students in Team 7 at the beginning of the series are Naruto, Sasuke, and...
I don't remember her name. She has pink hair, and she's annoying. It makes me want to strangle her. She's in love with Sasuke.
Anthony, anything?
Don't give
Nothing.
it up, Sasuke. Wait,
No
man.
idea.
Don't give it up.
I can see the
That's One
face.
Piece. The answer is Sakura.
Sakura. Sakura
Yep, pink.
Spirit.
Yeah,
Pink. I should have. Yep.
And
that's
in that one, Kobe read Sasuke's name as Sasaki, and it distracted me.
Sasuke. Nice.
Sasuke, I hate you. No, I hate you, Naruto. That's why I remember the two names.
All right, next
Why don't you
question.
just get married?
Ash's rival Gary had what starter Pokemon?
Buzz.
Buzz?
Anthony.
Eevee.
Wrong.
Ah.
DJ?
A Squirtle?
It was Squirtle.
Ah.
Go Blastoise!
That's not revealed until like the final time they fight.
Is that his starter was Blastoise?
That it was.
I just know Gary has a Blastoise, so
Yeah.
we started with Squirtle.
Uh-huh.
He has an Eevee too?
Yeah, he has an Eevee too.
Gary knows what's up. Eevee's the best.
All right, next question. In Gurren Lagann, how was Kamina related to Simone?
Buzz?
All right.
They both work in a... They both live in the same underground colony?
That is the correct answer, DJ. Kobe said that they were brothers. And that's where me and Jeff tore
Really?
into him. They're not
Wow.
brothers. He goes,
They're
"They're
not
not
brothers.
We're like,
Huh.
bro's just a nickname, Kobe. And he's
Bro. Oh, he does call him bro all the time. That makes sense. Why
That's funny.
No, he's like, Simone, we gotta get the hell out of here. And he's like, what do you mean, Kamina? I don't know what you mean. He's like, we're gonna go up, up, up in the sky above. And he's like, Kamina, you say really crazy shit, man.
It's essentially Rick and Morty.
I don't think he's a maniac because he sounds like one. It is very Rick and Morty. Kamina is a goddamn psychopath. And everyone's like, you're right, Kamina. And he's like, yeah, we gotta get the hell out of here, guys. Are you sure this is all I've ever known? Simone's the voice of reason, man.
All right, final question. Name the anime from the following characters. Kanazawa, Natsuko, Chimi, Ria, Riona, and Kenta.
It's a Kobe wrote it?
Kobe wrote this question. It has been. We have watched this anime on this podcast.
On this podcast.
On this podcast, we have watched this anime.
And Kobe also did.
Kobe has watched this anime, but it wasn't with us.
He didn't watch it with us. Did he watch it for Nerd Place?
No, he just watched it. He watched it with me.
Kanazawa.
Is it Buzz?
Why do I
DJ.
know that name?
Is it King's Game?
It is King's Game.
Oh, fuck.
I knew Kobe had watched that one with... I mean, that's
Shouldn't
one
be
that
proud of
Kobe had
that.
watched. That's one that Kobe had watched, not on this podcast.
Yeah,
I'm glad that I didn't know any of the character names from King's Game.
same. Me and Jeff, we just got there and we were like, what? Though I do remember one character's name, and it is Chimi. When Kobe read it, he read it as Kaimi. And so then I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't know any of these characters. And then at the end he goes, King's Game. I'm like, her name's Chimi, you asshole.
Which one walks out into the ocean?
I can't remember her name.
My job here is done. I shall go to the ocean where I began.
She got written out of the show like Poochie in Simpsons. I must go. My planet needs me. Poochie died on his way to his planet. Yeah. So fun little fact about that was after we did that. That's really what led to Jeff coming up with Anime Jeopardy, because that was a lot of fun and he kind of wanted to do a bigger one, and so. We did the Anime Jeopardy episode, Anime Jeopardy thing on Nerdblaze, DJ and I, and we had a lot of fun on it.
It was fun.
It was super good.
Unfortunately, Anthony couldn't be there because he was busy doing stuff. Same reason why Anthony was not there for what was that one that we just watched?
I don't remember it, but it was good.
Happy Sugar Life, which was a shame because that one was also good.
Yeah.
Why do I remember me hating it now that you said Happy Sugar Life?
Is it because at the end the little girl talked like a...
No, that one was good.
Yeah, Happy Sugar Life
Yeah,
was
with
good.
the fucking maniac chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's crazy.
I think Anthony really liked that one too. That was a shame that we did that one while he was
Dude,
gone.
I've seen so many
Put it on the list.
fucking animes.
I'll watch it.
TJ's like, the amount of anime I watched before this thing was, I could count on one hand. Now
I've
watched
easily
so
seen
much.
more bad animes than good at this point. Easily. Probably twice as many.
DJ's mind is like, anime is the worst medium to tell any story.
Yeah.
I'm so jaded. I'm like, they're all going to be bad.
All right, so that was fun. We'll go ahead and get out spoilers now. And hi, welcome back. If you skipped the spoiler section, highly recommend you check it out. We talked about the good, the bad, and played a little game of Quiz Bowl ourselves. After we do that, we like to go ahead and give our review of the anime. And because I'm a glutton for punishment, DJ, how about you explain what our ratings are?
Our ratings are number one rating is
starting great.
Roger Craig.
Roger what?
Roger Craig. Just too. Oh, he's too full of himself. He had a couple good games. He broke some records, and he's pretty overhyped. Guy. Second rating is Julia Collins. That's when you see it and you're like, a little underrated, doesn't get talked about as much as the other big names, but still pretty great. And then there's Ken Jennings, which is like, you see it, you should watch it, you should go for it. Everybody knows it. You're great. I changed the ratings into Jeopardy players.
Yeah, I was
halfway through. Yeah.
No, it was from the very beginning.
Roger Craig was the football guy?
Roger Craig, you mean the guy who held the record for the highest scoring game of Jeopardy before James Holhouser broke his record? Roger Craig? Oh. Roger Craig, who...
Oh, there you go.
He won a lot of games, but honestly, he's I don't think he's that great of a Jeopardy player. He's got the balls to bet high, and he's got some of the ability to back it up, but he's like James Holhouser has the fucking smarts to back it up. But I mean, there was a game where Roger Craig played against Ken and Brad, and he got trounced. Like, no chance.
I side note, that was really clever for DJ to do it that way. To name it, out of all the ways that DJ has done the ratings, that's probably the most clever and probably the one I've enjoyed the most, because I don't think he's ever done it right. But put it simply, DJ, in the order that DJ gave them, it's trash, recycling bin, and find. And let's just go with the descriptions that he said. So I'll go ahead and go
diving
first.
Through a dumpster, right?
And you find Roger Craig.
And what's in there? This anime, right? Is this anime covered in mold and dirt and shit, and you just throw it away? Or is this anime just a little bit of the packaging is messed up, and maybe you open it up and there's some holes in there, but it still looks pretty good. Like, we're talking a loaf of bread here. Maybe the front part of the bread's all crutchy, but you pull out those pieces and the rest of the bread's pretty great, right? So you have plenty of good bread there. Or do you rip open that trash can, move around all the rotten eggs, move around all the bile, and then right there is this perfectly pristine bag of bread that hasn't even been opened? Which one of the three is it? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Again, you always go with a food analogy. I always just think it's like you find a really good lamp.
Yeah, is that lamp?
Somebody's thrown this way? What?
Mold.
Wow.
I mean, it's always like, I always think, oh, is it like a moldy piece of bread? Or
No, you don't have to dig through dumpsters for food, Jake.
I don't. Clearly
Like some of us do.
No, I'm essential, so I still get to work. All right. So I'll go ahead and go first. Weirdly enough, as much as I do really enjoy this anime, I'm going to have to say recycling bin. Because I do see that there can be a turnoff for a lot of people. We did talk about how it's not essentially aesthetically pleasing. But I think it's a fun anime. I think it does story structure well. I think it really gets into Quiz Bowl, but that's also probably another reason why it's not for everybody, is because if you don't like trivia, if you don't like the smart characters and stuff, then it's not really going to hit you. I think that there's great character interactions in it. I believe that the rivalry between the main character and his rival is fantastic, and I really would love to see that progress. The opening song is an absolute banger. I listen to it probably every other episode. And
ending song, great too.
Yeah, ending song's great
Yeah,
too.
the ending song's
That's an earworm of an ending.
Yeah, I think the music's great in it. But like I said, I can totally see why it's not for everyone, and I kind of understand why it's rated lower on my anime list, but it's definitely not. It's definitely a 7 or higher. Definitely does not belong in a 6. So yeah, recycling bin for me. Anthony.
Yeah. Is the show one of the better ones that we've watched? Is kind of the question that I was asking myself when we when I finished watching this. I would have to also agree. I think that this show belongs in the recycle bin. It's not like the best show that I've ever seen or the most captivating. It was just good. It's not one that I'm going to go out of my way to recommend to all my friends. It's definitely not there up on that list, but I'd say that if it's been sitting on your list for a little while now, all things considered, yeah, give it a shot. It's worth it. I think the characters are engaging enough to follow and, really enjoy watching their screen time. And I think that the show does a pretty good job of going over the content of showing us how quiz bowls should work and all of the different trivia that comes along with it. I think that just as Jake said, I think that thematically the music, it works. I like it a lot. I think that they do a pretty good job. The animation is pretty much the only thing I would say is left to be desired, which we went over in the spoiler section. Check it out. As far as like anything else that could be added to the show, I mean, obviously it was good enough for it to get a second season. So, if you're still thinking about whether or not you should watch it, I'd say, sure, why not? Give it a shot. Don't go out of your way to watch it if there's anything in front of it, though. That's my review.
All right, DJ, take us home.
First of all, Roger Craig is not a trash Jeopardy player, okay? The first person I thought of, he's a really great guy. He's a really happy, positive dude. Just for starting it off there.
All right, backpedaling. I like how you're starting off.
Yeah, with the back. Yep. This anime is really good. It succeeds not on, in my mind at least, not on the foundation of liking trivia. I think it succeeds on having a strong foundation of like good writing and good characterization. And if you don't like trivia, you can fall back on the fact that it does have good characters, it has a great rivalry, like Jake said, and it has a good foundation of writing. Every episode rolls really well into the next. There's not any lulls, which are so like pandemically common in anime. Like it feels like every single anime has so many episodes that just absolutely bring the story to a halt, and this one does not. They drive forward towards this ending tournament through every episode, and then you get the entire experience of this tournament at the end. And there's no lulls. Granted, it's Quiz Bowl. It's kids in Quiz Bowl. There's not a lot going on, right? There's not a lot of drama. But even in your most drama-filled animes, I feel like there's episodes that grind that pace to a halt. It's got amazing pacing. It keeps you watching through the whole thing. I mean, like the first 5 episodes, I thought I was on episode 3, and I was on 5, and I was like, oh shit, this thing's going fast, which is generally never the case for this show. Animes that we watch on this one do not go fast, where you think you're on episode 20 and you're on 2. This one runs fast because how well it is paced and written. And I think if you don't like trivia, you could fall back on that. And if you don't like trivia, fuck you. It's a find.
Oh, wow. That's probably the first time DJ's ever rated anything higher than Anthony or myself. I do want to take back one thing I did say. Definitely an 8, not a 7. I rated it an 8.
8 out of 8. I mean, fucking high rating.
And we can't hear Anthony.
Why'd you mute yourself, Anthony?
I had to clear my throat.
Oh, okay.
I would say that I would also put it up there. I would say probably like a 7.8. 7.8. I like that.
Probably 8.5-ish.
Domestic Girlfriend got a 7. It's sitting at a 7.05. So, just to put it into perspective, that's not a good show.
I liked it better than, like, to compare it to animes we've seen, I liked it better than Rum Sugar Life. Whatever. What was that? Happy Sugar Life. Rum Sugar Lime is
DJ looked at like DJ tried to Kaiser Soze it. Sugar Life in his
Yoshi Wine Silly String.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one we watched last week.
Than that one. I think maybe it didn't appeal as many people because of the edge. I liked it better than that. I liked it better than Cells at Work. Hot
Wow.
take.
That's
Am
a
I
hot take.
taking it.
That's
I like
a hot
that.
take.
You know, a weird one.
Really?
A weird one for me. Maybe it's because I've become more jaded. But
I think I recycle bin Cells at Work.
yeah, he did. He did recycle bin cells at work. But I made My Girlfriend is a Show Bitch a find.
I like
and that one was fun. But I think this is better than that. But I feel like that one.
I agree. I do think this is better than that.
But I think My Girlfriend is a Show Bitch just has a more entertaining value, universal. But again, DJ is right. That this does have better characterization and all this other stuff. I just think, I just try to think of our friends, and I know some people will probably get lost in the descriptions of the questions or the answers and stuff. So that's just where I was thinking.
Bogs it down a little bit for people.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Okay.
No, I mean, this is easily... it's hard to think of ones... As far as ones that were supposed to be bad, this might be the best one.
Yeah, true. If ones that are supposed to be bad, this is probably the best one.
Right.
Because all the other ones are good ones. I didn't like it as much as Killing Bites. I didn't like it as much as Giant Male...
Magical Girl Ore.
Magical Girl Orway. I didn't like it as much as either of those, but those were both supposed to be good. The fighty, shooty, witch killing anime, I didn't like it as much as that one.
Fighty, shooty, witch killing? What?
It's
Madoka
got a
Magica?
name. Madoka Magica.
Are you serious? Are you serious? Wow.
Fighty, shooty, witch killing anime, that's the perfect... that's what it is. I didn't like it as much as Madoka Magica, but all three of those were supposed to be good. I can't think of one...
Well, the universe one. Trip to the end of the universe or whatever.
Yeah, way
further, a
across the
place
universe.
further than
That
the universe.
anime
Yes.
was
That was supposed to be a good one, though.
That was
supposed
so
to be
good.
It was-
Right.
yeah.
This was better than that, and it was supposed to be bad, guys. Come on.
That was better than that one?
I thought the Antarctica one was so boring.
Anthony was ready to move
It was
to Antarctica.
so
Anthony was ready to
good.
buy
He was.
tickets to Antarctica
He
after
was.
watching that one.
I would still do it.
Care.
I would still
I
do
didn't
it.
care. A lot of it broke the realism for me. Why did that many kids in that town want to move to Antarctica? It doesn't make
No,
any
they just
sense.
wanted to go. It was just
Because
a trip. It wasn't even that they wanted to go.
Because her enthusiasm was infectious.
Yeah.
It was cute and I liked it. I didn't like it as much as this one. It was. I don't know if Jake has stats on him. Was Happy Sugar Life the first find I ever did on a bad one?
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's the first find that you've
Then
ever
this
done on a
is
bad one.
this is my favorite bad one
Wow.
I've ever watched.
Ah. Okay.
It's gonna.
Is this one
Right
is
above,
technically this one's supposed to be a bad one? This one got Happy
right
Sugar
above-
Life had a 7. Huh.
Above We Drive Mermaid.
Oh, Valkyrie Dreamer. Yeah, that's something that we've kind of noticed while we were doing this, especially DJ and myself, because DJ starts to look them up on my anime list every now and then, just to see how crazy anime people are, just to see how certain super bad things have higher scores than other things.
Superb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is the thing that blows me away is things? There's no 3s. On my anime, it's a 7 is bad because
yeah.
the fans of it go and pump the score, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Handshakers is at a 5.5.
How?
That shouldn't be high. That shouldn't be. That's almost passing. It shouldn't be that high.
Yeah. Diabolic Lovers 5 point something.
Yeah.
Blood Divorce 5.5, which just seeing.
That makes me never want to watch a 5. Keep us giving us the 7s.
Well, this was actually something I was going to bring up. Normally, I come into these podcasts with one in mind, and then I say it at the end, and then I force you guys to watch a show. You guys get no say.
I've been having the feeling that you're gonna hit us with a fucking bad one.
Actually,
Because you've been
stinker.
you've been so generous.
well, I mean, I'm continuing that generosity with this because now I'm giving you guys a choice. Now there's an anime that I am almost positive you guys would hate.
Okay.
It's 3D animation.
Oh god.
It's furry
Oh, no.
characters.
Oh no.
It is gone sexual. It is intense, and it currently has an 8.3 on my anime list. So it's not rated bad. and it's called Beastars.
I don't know.
So there's that. But then
You watch
there's one.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure instead.
Then there's
That's too long.
But then there's another one. This anime is classic traditional anime. But it's rated at a 6.9. It's called Zombie Loan. And this was actually recommended to me by somebody saying that it was the worst anime she had ever seen. And so that's what I posed to you guys this. Do you guys want to watch an anime that when described to you sounds like it could be one of the worst animes you've ever seen but is rated extremely high? Or do you want to see an anime that is rated low? And
Give us the low one. Give us the garbage one.
You're DJ's like, I'm not watching a 3D anime.
Well, I mean, a 3D
know, I'm
anime can be
split.
good.
Uh-huh.
I'm
If
split
it's
because
rated
I've heard
high.
about Beastars.
What'd you say, Anthony?
I'm split because I've heard about Beastars.
Uh-huh.
I've heard a little bit about it. I'm gonna hate it.
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
want
fucking
DJ to hate it.
every
Let's watch
minute of that.
Beastars.
And then DJ said Zombie Loan, which means
Let's watch Beastars.
yep, he folded. So there you go. We know our next two. We're doing them in that order. We're gonna watch Beastars and then we're gonna watch Zombie Loan.
Okay,
So do you want
here we go.
Do you want to know the brief synopsis of Beastars really quick?
Sure.
In a civilized society of anthropomorphic animals, an uneasy tension exists between carnivores and herbivores. At Cherryton Academy, this mutual distrust peaks after a predation incident results in the death of Tem, an alpaca, in the school's dramas club.
Kill Tim!
Tem's friend
We ate Tim!
Tem's friend Legoshi, a gray wolf in the stage crew, has been an object of fear and suspicion for his whole life. In the immediate aftermath of the tragedy, he continues to lay low and hide his menacing traits, much to the disapproval of Louis, a red deer, and the domineering star actor of the drama club.
That's fucking horrible.
I can't wait.
Red deer.
I can't wait.
All right. Anthony, how about you take us home?
Do they have killing bites? Dude, does the one with the sharpest claws win in Beastars?
Beastars.
Man,
Oh,
Killing
boy,
Bites
it's been
2
a-
season 2 when?
Yeah, serious. Waiting on hopefully on the horizon. Is that announced?
I don't
Do
know.
we
I
know?
haven't followed it.
Was the Idol animes one of the good ones too?
Zombieland Saga?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the airing ones. Zombieland Saga,
I like
Cells at Work,
better than
Magic
that
World.
one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't like that one either.
I didn't like the one that wasn't Magical Girl Ore, but they were still Magical Girls. It was Magical Girl Sight.
Ah, yeah, the one we did with Jeff.
Yep, I didn't like that one.
Magic Girl Edge.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Magical Girl.
Needlessly
Sight.
edgy. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with us for the podcast. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave us a thumbs up. And comment down below if there's any anime that you find out there that are worse than any that Jake has suggested this far, and we'll watch them. Our links to our Twitter,
Well,
just Twitters, right?
Yeah.
Just Twitters are in our bio. You can hit us up on our Twitters to also do a suggestion.
why do you say Twitter's like you're 50 years old?
Give us one of those good old tweets, kids. And
Go to Joe.
4040.
Go Joe.
Yeah, you can find me on the Twitter. I'm on there. I got my account all set up on there. I can get the DMs and the profile comments like that. That's how you sound.
Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.